Hey there, it's Catherine, and you might be wondering if you're grieving wrong. Well, today I want to tell you that you're not, and I want to talk a little bit more about what it means to witness your own grief. So let's get started. So here I am. This is the place where my dad spent a lot of time. This was his desk. This was his computer. This was his home base of operations, so to speak. And he spent a lot of time there. And the fact that he's not sitting there this morning the way he normally would be is odd. And it feels weird. For those of you who don't know, my dad passed away on July 29th. And I'm back here at the house starting to declutter, decide what we want to keep, what we need to move to Virginia Beach, where my mom is going to be with us, and really unravel these memories. And I know that so many of you know what this feels like, because you've had to do it for your parents, or you've had to clear out closets full of clothes for a spouse, or get rid of things that are the everyday. There's certainly things that you can keep. We went through his closet yesterday, some of his clothing, that maybe we want to keep, but the bulk of it really needs to go, because what's the point of holding on to it? And you can hold it for as long as you need to. But as I've been scrolling through some of the comments on my videos, the thing that's coming up in what I've been seeing and in my own sort of grief journey, I'm starting to witness my own grief. And I'm paying attention to some of the things that come up that I hear a lot of you say. I'm wondering whether or not I'm grieving right, whether or not I should be doing something else. I should be feeling something differently. Maybe it's because you feel numb and you're like, I don't feel enough, and maybe I should be crying more. Or maybe it's because you can't stop crying and you're like, what is wrong with me? I don't think that there is a way that you can grieve wrong. I think what you have to be careful about is the shoulds. And I've done videos before on to say, stop shoulding yourself, right? How you should feel. And so I want to tell you that you're not grieving wrong. And sometimes we look at how we are grieving and we make judgments on it. And we say, like I was saying before, you're crying too much. You're not crying enough. You have more anger than you feel like you should have, and maybe that's not justified. Or you're more depressed than you feel like you should be. I want you to just take a moment today and try to witness your grief. Instead of judging it, just observe it. Observe what's going on. Observe what comes up in certain situations. For example, for me, I was sleeping here in the home that he lived in for a long time, and I was witnessing how odd it was to not have his presence here. I was witnessing that I would walk by his desk and expect him to be there. I was witnessing how odd that was for me, and it reminded me of some of my past grief when his mother had died. And I want to encourage you just to do that witnessing and be curious about what's going on with you, as opposed to trying to judge it or change it or say, I'm not doing it right, or I should be this way, or I should be that way. So spend time today and just notice where you are. And as those things change, as your emotions are changing, witness it. And witness when your mood lifts a little bit, and you have a laugh because of something that happens, witness that. Pay attention to it. When something triggers you and you're sadder than you normally are, or something triggers you and it makes you upset, or it makes you start to cry, witness it and explore it and say, well, what is that? Why am I triggered? So many people say, that they're dealing with bouts of anger, or they have a lot of fear. Witness your fear and say, why am I fearful? What am I fearful of? I had another person say they don't want to go out for fear they're going to run into someone they know. Well, what is the fear? Witness what that is. Like, what is coming up? What are you concerned is going to happen? And witness that. And then ask yourself, well, why? Why are you worried about that? Let's say it does happen, that of whatever it is you're fearful about. Well, what if it does? What does that mean for you? And just witness it and see what comes up. So I want to encourage you to do that today. Spend your time, instead of judging yourself and making yourself wrong, or thinking that you're not doing it right, or saying I should be further along, or how do I move forward, or how do I get over this? How do I do what's next? Like, take a moment and just witness it and be in it. And I think that that's very healing. And as always, I want to encourage you. My next grief course starts October 2nd. I'm starting to enroll in that right now. So I've had multiple people reach out to me. Continue reaching out to me at griefinspired@gmail.com. I'm changing up the format a little bit to create more connections so that you can connect with more people, because you don't want to do this alone. So if you feel like you're stuck, if you feel like you're lonely in your grief, if you feel like you don't have anyone to share what's going on with you, if you feel like the people around you don't necessarily understand, because sometimes we have this weird expectation that because they're your family, they're going to understand, and they don't, not all the time. And I want you to come and be with us in the course, and explore. Witness your grief like I'm telling you to do today. Learn more about it. Understand why it's there. Deal with the things that come up, whether it be anger, resentment, depression, guilt. We talk about all of it in the course. And we're going to take you from October 2nd to the end of the year. We're going to get you through the holidays. I have some extra bonus days that I'm going to put in there so that you can have more support through the holidays. So come be with us so that you don't have to do it alone. Reach out to me at griefinspired@gmail.com, and I'll see you soon.